Okay, so we're going to go through the rules of logarithms, all right, and how we apply them. Because with a lot of questions with logarithms, you are going to be questioned on these laws, all right. So we have rule number one, which is called the product rule. Okay, this one basically, if you ever see two logarithms being added like this here, you're going to have to apply this rule. For example, okay, if you have, for example, log 3 5 plus log 3 x minus 1. Okay, remember the bases have to be the same. Okay, in this case the base is 3. Okay, so if you see log 3 log base 3 5 plus log base 3 x minus 1, just because there's an addition sign here, you're going to apply the product rule, which is rule number one. You're just going to say log 3 is equal to 5 times x minus 1. Okay, which you can write like this then: log 3, just hold on, 5 times x, 5x, 5 times negative 1, that gives us negative 5. All right, that is the product rule. Yes, colleagues, that is the product rule. Yes. So, colleagues, that's the first rule, the product rule. If you ever see logarithms being added together, then that's you're going to apply the power rule there. Next, we're going to go to the quotient rule. All right, the quotient rule. This is where whenever you see logarithms being subtracted, have you seen log b m minus n, log bm minus log bn? Right, this is where you're going to need to apply the quotient rule. So let me give an example here. So let's say, for example, we have log 5, or let's say log 15, minus log 3 5 here. Okay. Okay. So since these are subtracting each other, always make sure that the bases are the same. As you can see here, the base is in log 3. The base is 3. All right. So this is what you're going to do. We're going to apply the quotient rule, which is going to be log 3, open brackets, 15 divided by 5. Okay. And then we know 15 divided by 5, that is 3. Okay, that is 3. Okay. Oh, colleagues, feel free to ask questions where you have got any questions. Okay, colleagues, feel free to ask where you are lost. Okay. Yes. And also this, we can simplify it further because as you can see, this other rule here, log b equals 1. So if the base is the same as the value, you get a 1. Okay. And so this can be simplified further into, this can equal to 1 basically. Okay. Yes. All right. Any questions, colleagues? This is example 2 here. That is example 1 here. Okay. Yes. Next is the power rule. Okay, as you can see here, k log bm will give you this log bm to the power k. So this rule, anytime you see a number in front of a logarithm, okay? So for example, if you say I have 2 log 3 5 here, right? You're going to apply the power rule. It's going to become log 3 5 raised to the power 2. Okay. Yes. Okay. Which can be simplified further as log 325 here. Okay. So anytime you see a number in front of a logarithm, just know you have to apply the power rule. This number in front of the logarithm becomes the exponent to the value. This 5, remember, is the value. Okay. Yes. Okay. Then we have this one here. Okay. For any logarithm, all right, where the value is 1. Colleagues, remember the terms in logarithms. Here they are. Okay. The small letter is the base. This x is the value, which is the number that will be given to you. And then the result is just the exponent. Okay. Just remember this diagram. That's the information I'm using here. So for example, if you see log is 3, 1, it's going to give you 0. Because remember, colleagues, why this law applies? Remember, a logarithm, we're saying how many times do we have to multiply a number by itself to get a certain value? So here, if you multiply 3 by itself raised to the power 0, basically, if you raise 3 to the power 0, it's going to give you 1. Okay? So any logarithm that has a value of 1, just know your exponent or your result is going to be 0. Yes? Madam. Mhm. For it's always a 1 if the result will be 0. Okay, madam. We're following this. Yes. We're following this rule here. It always has to be a 1. Okay. Mhm. Yes. Then we've got the next rule here, as we said earlier on, log b equals 1. So this is the same as saying log 3 3 equals 1. Because remember, if you raise 3 to the power 1, okay, multiplying 3 by itself one time, you're going to get a 3 there. Okay. Yes. For rule number 6, this is a situation, let's say, for example, you have log 3, open brackets, 3 raised to the power 2. Okay. If you have such a situation, okay, your result is just going to be 2. Okay. If you see this situation, you have been given such a situation in a question here. All right. Or even let's say, for example, log 5 raised to the power 4. That is going to give you 4. Okay. That's for rule number 6. Also, rule number 7. Okay, have you seen? B log b k equals k. So, for example, if you have 3 raised to the power log 3, and let's put a 5 here, then your answer is going to be 5. Okay. Have you seen? The condition has to be this. The base for the logarithm also has to be the actual base, because this is a logarithm written like an index. Okay. So obviously the b and the b have to be the same here. Okay. Even we can write like this. Let's say, for example, 4 log 4, then you get, let's say, 16 here. Okay. Because you can see here the base of the logarithm is 4, and 4 is the actual base of the exponent. Okay, because this logarithm here is an exponent. Okay, so your answer is just going to be 16. Okay, colleagues. So these are the laws of logarithms.